All right, good morning. Sorry I am 20 seconds late. Just farting around. I was trying to figure out why on TradingView, the futures section. Well, here, I'll take a look at it right now while you're here. I'm still trying to figure out how the community part works on TradingView because it's a mess. It's not easy, it's not convenient, and it's split up into 3 different sections, one of which doesn't make any sense. But I went to the futures section because that's what I like to trade, and it's all gold. Everything's gold, gold, gold. I guess because it made all-time new highs again? But I'll be giving my thoughts on gold later, but where's everything else? Anyway, this is what, because I have nobody watching right now, and for the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks I've been doing this, I've had nobody watch. I've got to find a way to bring people into this community. I do enjoy doing it for myself, as I've said multiple times. But at some point, it would be nice to bounce my ideas off others, or to have others tell me I'm a complete idiot for this or that. It really helps, as stressful as it can be. All right, right now with news, what do we got? Nothing. Yeah, not much. Chicago Fed national activity, and I have no idea what that is, but it doesn't seem to be real important. But we have a Fed speech at 9:45. I don't know where or when the news is released about it. I was debating again whether I should block them out because there's 5 of them today. One at 9:45, one at 11:30, one at 10, one at noon, 3 at noon. No, none at 11:30. Scratch that. But I guess I'll use today as my litmus test of a sort. If the market reacts to any of these Fed speeches, I'll ignore them from now on, except for, if the major ones. Which I think that would only be the Powell himself, or who's the other one that's important right now? I don't know. This is why I love technical stuff. You don't have to keep up with all this. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. Circus. That's a good name. I'll talk about news, this week's news a little bit later. Last week was rate cut. And since then, markets have been doing all right. Let's take a look at the overnight. I'll get into what I think about today and maybe some macro stuff a little bit later. For now, let's just look at the overnight moves. I look at the ES, the NQ, the Russell, the Dow, gold, and oil. All right, the ES tried to remain above Friday's opening range high, but could not remain above, broke below. Nice pullback right here. See the opening range. That would have been a good trade at 4 a.m. And then it just kind of lingered. This time an uptick in volume starting around 3 to 4. I bet that's right at the close of the Asian markets, so they were melting into the US markets. NASDAQ. I'd say more, instead of remaining above opening range high, it was remaining below Friday's close. Eventually did break below the opening range high. It looks like it did halt there for a little bit. Very similar to the ES, except the ES was hitting spots very cleanly in the overnight. I had a nice trade. An okay trade. It seems, I don't know what I did right or wrong, but last week all my trades weren't showing up right on the charts. And the orders were all messed up. I don't know if I did anything to fix it, but it seems to be fixed now. I have a year left of TradingView. I don't see them making the changes I would want in a year. So I might be going to Sierra Charts or NinjaTrader, one of the more advanced platforms. My broker is Interactive Brokers. I don't like Trader Workstation. It's crap. Well, it's not crap, but it's rough. It has the appearance of configuration, but not really. All right, Russell. Price almost ignoring Friday's close, just bouncing back and forth through it multiple times. Same thing with Friday's low. This similar movement around 3 a.m. as in the NQ and ES. And right now we are just trending slightly lower towards the overnight low. Respecting the key levels, but not really. I would have stayed away from this had I stayed up all night, which I don't do. The Dow. So in the Dow, the close and the low are further apart. And it seems like we are heading for the low right now. I'm surprised we didn't come up and bounce off of Friday's opening range high or Friday's close. Just kept melting down all night. And again, this 3 o'clock increase in volume and volatility. Other than that, nothing really. We'll see if it holds above Friday's opening range low. Maybe not. All right, gold. Gold has been ripping higher all night. Some clean almost hits on Friday's high. Had I seen that, Let's be for real, I probably wouldn't have traded. I have problems with trading that high. Well, I guess I could have covered at last Wednesday's high. So yeah, that would have been a good trade. Anywhere in here. It even came back and bounced off of Wednesday's high in this large area of support, or resistance rather. I don't know how the indicator determines resistance or support. I think it's when it's set up, because obviously this coming back down and bouncing off it, that would be considered support because it's supporting the movement up. So it must have been formed when price was below it. That's why they're calling it resistance. Same thing with this. This is called support because price was approaching it and bounced off that. But I treat them equally once price comes back to it to visit again. That was formed all the way back on Wednesday. It seems price is coming back down towards it again to see if we maintain higher prices. Oops, I didn't switch back over to the 5 minute. Oh well. Oil. Oil at first remained above the overnight Friday's close. Kind of bouncing between Friday's opening range high. I can't stop yawning sometimes. Opening range low. Eventually rejecting both and heading lower towards. It barely stopped at the close in the low. Something was pulling it to 62. There's something about 62 level that's price controlled or something. I'll talk about that more later once I go over the key levels for today. I was considering a trade here, but I think I should only trade oil at the extremes, close to the extremes, which I'll talk about later. Let's check out the overnight VIX. Strange behavior, at least in my opinion, on the VIX. So last Wednesday, for the rate cut, you can see that here, all over the place, but generally lower. But then it's been trending up slightly since then, with today in the overnight gapping up significantly, and is right now in the general area that we were last Wednesday when we got a rate cut. And as you can see on the daily, this kind of channel we're reaching the upper end of that channel. Strange thing is, when we were heading higher last week, the end of last week, higher in the VIX, we weren't heading lower on the S&P. I think I saw an idea this morning from some broker on TradingView that said barely anything's holding the market up right now. I couldn't agree more. But I couldn't agree more for the past 6 months, and it just keeps finding a way to go higher. So I don't fight that. But we'll see as we head towards there. We're flat right now. The overnight was flat on the VIX. Gapping up, but then flat. The dollar trended up slowly and then sharply down. That's it for the overnight. Let's take a look at the news coming up this week. Tomorrow we have PMI, global PMI. Powell's giving a speech. I don't know. I have a feeling we're gonna. I can't explain it. But at some point, people are gonna realize the current narrative in the markets is shit. I guess it's been crap for 6 months. It's been crap for a year. The only money that people are making in AI is the ones selling the shovels. Where are they going to make real value? Google's gotten worse from AI. I used to use AI, but it's gotten so bad that it's not even a good tool anymore, even in special use cases. I'm going to keep trying, but it just seems like every time I try to use it for something, it completely lies to me blatantly, which I'm sure some people are just believing it outright. Or it just doesn't work. It just gives completely wrong answers. And even, I think it was Grok. Grok got snarky. I said, "You're completely wrong." And then it said something like, "Well, you read it wrong." Okay. That's the future of technology, huh? A computer program with a bunch of words mashed together. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's real AI being used successfully, but I don't know. I don't see it. So unless something else comes along to prop up this market, maybe there's a large correction coming. We shall see. I'm going to attempt to make money either way. What else we got tomorrow? Wednesday, new home sales. Thursday, GDP. I don't think I'll be able to trade on Thursday. I'm not sure yet. Or Friday. Just the morning. I think I can only do the mornings. I got some more work coming up, and I wish I could just do this all day, but it's not paying all my bills yet. Friday's CPE, PCE, CPCE. More speeches, Michigan consumer sentiment. The usual, I'd call it. The Fed seems set on a rate cut in, well, let's figure that out. Yeah, in October and December. At least people think the Fed's set on it. January's money's on sticking. Let's do the compare. I just discovered this. I don't know how I didn't know it was there. But for October, since last week, we've remained stable. But since last, I think the 15th was Monday. Last Monday, the chance of a rate cut in October has gone up 20%, 22, 23%. And the chance of a half point right? Is that a half point? Where are we at right now? Four to 4.25. Yeah, so that would be a quarter. That would be a half. Let's see the change. So this has gone up as well. Chance of another cut. They've pretty much said it. The Fed said it. So will that keep the market propped up? I don't know. All right, that's it for news. I'm going to go over key levels right now. I'm going to try to do it quick. I have a lot of work to do this week. As I gain followers and members in the community, I'll do more. As ideas come to me as well, I'll present more. Right now I'm just making sure I do something daily to build up the good habits, to try to become more professional. All right, start with the ES. You could call this a triangle pattern right here. It's going to come to a head right at the open, maybe. We're at 9. See which way it breaks. I don't really trade off of patterns, but I just observe them, I don't know, see if they make sense. Key areas to look out for. It's definitely the Friday's high at 67.3150. If we head lower, Friday's low would be a major area. Beyond that, yeah, I don't know. I would say the pivot point maybe at 66.44. We'll see. Other than that, I don't notice much. Yeah, maybe last Tuesday or Wednesday's high. Be a good stopping point if we start heading lower. Huge resistance, as you can see, up higher. The overnight was unable to break it at all. So I could see us attempting and then not making it through there. And Q. Very similar to the ES lately. The patterns are almost identical since the rate cut. If you look at if we head higher, look out for all-time highs at 24,888. We got a little bit closer in the overnight than in the ES. But nowhere close. Nowhere close. Not close enough. If we head lower, I'd say look out for Friday's open. That general area. If not, then Friday's low. Also, Friday's low happens to be Tuesday's high. Very close to there. I'd say that's a more important level as we head lower. And then, of course, this shelf here. This week, if we head down there, I might do a long-term trade at that area. A mixed trade, I guess I'll call it. I'll do like 6 contracts, maybe 8. Sell 2 to 4 at 25%. My full profit target would be Friday's low. Something like that. I need more practice with those types of trades. I know that's what professionals do, is they build in the positions and then build out. But for years I didn't have the money to build in. I had enough money just to do 1 micro. So I'm very used to 1 contract in, 1 contract out, 4 contracts in, 4 contracts out. And I should change that up a bit. It's also kind of difficult with TradingView. Maybe not so much TradingView, but my broker's integration in the TradingView. All right, let's take a look at the Russell. On Thursday, the Russell did quite well, and then it's been doing bad since then. We're stuck right now at Friday's low. I might short that, depending. I think there's news right at the open. Or no, it's just a Fed speech. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. So this forms support, according to the indicator. Can't always trust indicators. And then broke through it anyway, but is now coming back to it. If we bounce off of the low and head lower, we're looking at 24.43, which would be 2 Thursdays ago, the high. That might slow us down a bit. Kind of this bowl shape, which is interesting. I think the Russell likes the rate cuts more than the others. Can I draw curved lines on TradingView? I never knew if that's possible. GANFAN. The heck is that? Yeah, that's not bad. Well, you see the curve. Man, it goes back all the way to June or July. Would have loved to make that trade right there. I mean, it kind of stopped nowhere, so how could you? But when it broke back above 50 SMA, that shouldn't have been a sign. Anyway, if we do head higher, if we break through the low and then the close, you have the pivot point, R1. I don't see... Let's see how much price respected that in the past. Yeah, significantly enough. I would trust that as a key area coming up. Beyond that, Friday's high. If we break above that, I don't know. I would only trade a pullback if we broke above there. Pullback with confirmation, of course. What's confirmation? MACD, volume, price action, RSI. All right, let's take a look at the Dow. Dow does not have a curve. Not nearly as much. But it's a very slanted triangle. There was a swamp monster on Fox News that said the Dow will reach 50,000 by year end. We shall see. Anyway, for today, I could see us building another channel like this. Not today, but like this week and next week. You see it there? I don't know if you can see the line. We shall see. We're heading right now towards Friday's low. If we break below that, I would definitely be looking at previous month's high. If we head higher, there is the close, Friday's close, and then Friday's high. And then right above that, the pivot point, R1 pivot point. All right, gold. Gold has recovered a little bit, did not even come close to, well, I guess you can consider that close to this large resistance. See what happens. Maybe that's why everybody's talking about gold. But it just doesn't, I wouldn't buy it now. We'll see by day's end. Yeah, I don't know. If we do bounce off of current month high, which was an overnight high, I would probably take profit at that resistance area. But I don't know if I would make that trade. I might scalp gold if it's moving quick enough. Paper trade, scalp. I'm not ready to put real money on the real quick scalping I want to do. You know, the type that that prop firms will refuse to give you your money if you do. I don't understand that. Why do they have... It's been years since I've tried that crap, but I don't understand why these they're not real prop firms. First of all, they're fake prop firms. I guess we can call them, for lack of a better name. They don't want you to do... If the whole idea is they give you some of their money and you prove that you can make money on their money, so they'll let you trade their money. The idea is kind of flawed. Unless you have like a real prop firm with like a group of guys who compete against each other, and that's their edge. So if you can make them money, why does it matter if their trades are shorter than 10 seconds? I genuinely want to know that. Is it cheating? Am I about to find out a hard truth that even if I practice and become very good at fast trading on the DOM or fast scalping, whatever you want to call it, am I going to be hit with a huge fee from interactive brokers for improper trades or too many orders? Or I don't know. I guess I could ask that question. This time I'm going to write down the question I have. Last time I forgot it. So bear with me for just 1 sec. I'm almost done anyway. I mean, is it the brokers or is it the exchange? Do they fear quantitative systems? But if it's... I bet it has something to do with they can't fudge the order entry if you're doing real quick orders. That's like the tinfoil hat speculation. Especially after all the... I follow some of the drama just because it's entertaining. And I need reminders of why I shouldn't try it again. Anyway, there was accusations against several of them that people would be logged off and they'd have orders. And it'd be like, "Whoop, you lost, sorry." Because it's so right there, that's a major red flag. If it's in any way in the interest of the prop firm to pay money out to, if you winning isn't in the interest of the prop firm, that's a huge red flag. They should be happy that you're winning. They should be like, "Great, here's a load of money, make us more money," if that's the general idea. But I don't think it is. I really don't. And when I see that type of stuff, I think, man, it'd really be great to get a group of people together, a real prop firm. But we'll see. Maybe one day. Alright, let's check out oil and be done. If we head much lower, I'm not going to really trade much in this mess. There's a reason this is there. This is, I guess it must be price manipulation by countries. Countries release oil reserves or they hold on to them to try to maintain price. And it's price generally returns to 62. I said that last week, but I was wrong about the timing. I thought price was going to reject it on Tuesday, but it didn't until Friday, almost. I gotta remember that when it passes back through. That would have been a great trade. On Friday. Let's take a look at that quick. So it actually happened the overnight. Right there. So Thursday night, which is considered Friday for futures. The open for Friday actually happens 1800 Eastern Standard Time the night before, if you don't know. But this rejection right here, that's kind of funny. That's also Friday's high. Well, duh. Yeah, of course it is. I guess maybe this rejection on Thursday. It broke below Thursday. Yeah, this is... It kept trying to. Oh, but I wonder where's the confirmation. That would have been rough. How would I have known that it would actually stay below and not go back above? Maybe I need to incorporate longer term charts like 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute. Maybe it's easier to see a pattern. But I already have too many charts. Seriously, let me look for that. So when it broke below here, I guess because RSI was getting much weaker, but yet there was bull signals in RSI. I guess when it failed here, despite... No, that'd be a bear signal to me. No, it wouldn't. Never mind. Yeah, that's tricky. I guess Friday open? Who knows? But I do know if price gets down to, I'd say 61.15 to anywhere in here to 60.85, I will take a position along. And I bet you that it will be the time that price breaks below that area. Not just below it, but right below my stop. Well, that's not the right way to think about it now, is it? All right, that's it. That's all I got. Again, no views today. Link to the Discord is in the description. My name's Frank. Community is no more paper trading. I just want to become a profitable trader. I don't want to become a financial influencer at all. I will be presenting tomorrow morning, starting at 8:30 a.m. Goodbye.